got some amazing people, speakers who have actually brought along, many of them are multi-millionaires, right, who trade with millions of dollars. And the whole idea behind the retreat is very, very simple. I really want y'all to learn, I want y'all to earn, I want y'all to really understand the mindsets of what it takes to be able to trade bigger sums of money. The theme of this retreat, very simply, as you all know, is halving, right? We have a very important day happening. This is a very monumental event in crypto, right? It has already led to crazy gains, and I believe that we will see much greater, much bigger astronomical rise across the board, right? So if there is a time to really seriously propel yourselves financially, it is this year. When I was figuring out myself, it was my own self. I had no mentor to teach me or whatever. But now you guys are blessed. Why? Because you all have a community, you all have people around you. You have Calvin, you have Resh, you have Louis, you have all these guys to actually teach you and guide you, right? So you all are in a much better situation. You'll be learning about the mindset of multi-millionaire traders, right? The caliber of people that are brought for this retreat. Man, you all are in for a treat. Those are the speakers, and those are the guys we're going to be learning from over the week.
Hello, good evening, everyone. If you can see me and hear me clearly, can you type something in the comment chat box? Okay, I start to see comment coming in. Good evening, Ivan. Okay, good. Yeah. I always need to remind myself because YouTube Live, there will be some delay. All right, how's everyone doing? It's holiday season now, so not sure if you are still working hard, trading, learning, or like me, start to enjoy the Christmas season already. All right, so same as, okay, very good. Okay, good to know. All right, so same as every session. All right, let's just start with going through the general market now, because we all know October, November, both months didn't perform as well as we expected. And now time flies, we are already almost halfway into December. Right. So as we can see for the whole, even for December, right, the market recovery. Oh, okay. So now you can see my screen. Okay, sorry. All right. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, let's just take a look at the general market movement, right? Because we all know October, November, the performance wasn't as positive as we expected. And starting from December, right, we do start to see some recovery in terms of the most of the, especially the strong tokens in terms of their price movement. We start to see people buying back and then actually pushing or at least holding the, we call it like the floor price for majority of the token, right? But what we can see now is generally we can see that the market, though it seems like the buy power is coming back, but the buy volume or say buy power is not as strong as we wished it could be, right? So we can see that though the price is start to recovering, but generally the trading volume is low as well as the price movement. We don't see that those very powerful pump. We are technically still very near to the support, like a strong support line, or for some token that has the price has dropped a lot in October, we're literally still struggling at the floor, right? And as we can see for USDT, right, for the past, like this week, after the Wednesday, there was an FOMC, right? Then the reason wasn't negative or it's not bearish or, I mean, technically the rate remained the same, so technically it's not a bearish signal. It's slightly more to the bullish side. But even though the price did not pick up or did not pump much after the FOMC correction, so right after that, the same night, the price start to correct for another round. And right now we can see for USDT wise, right, it's actually still holding above the strong support over here, right? And the price is not moving much. In fact, it start to do like a midway U-turn. It shows that market is being very indecisive at the moment, right? If we like, and because of this, we can see many strong tokens. They are also like, in fact, majority of the tokens, they are right now sitting below a major resistance, right? Because USDT is still sitting above the support, and therefore most of the token we see here, they are not breaking above the resistance at the moment, right? You can see the 200 MA right here, right? And most tokens has been retesting the 200 MA for the past few days, right? We haven't seen a really strong big breakout, and then actually took off the price to take off from here, right? Except for one token, which is Ethereum, right? Ethereum in December, it actually shows slightly more bullish movement compared to other tokens, right? It has broke above the 200 MA last week, and then ever since that, now it's doing a bit of retesting, but it didn't break back below the resistance. So compared to most of other tokens, Ethereum is holding relatively strong, right? But as we can see, when it pump also, it's just like usually within a day, and then the volume will start to slow down and drop as well, right? So generally, the market right now, you can see is generally the tone is more like an indecisive, and like emotionally we would say you see bullish news and bullish like catalytics, but the price is just not moving as strong as we want it to be, right? So if you so for me to decide whether what kind of buyers to take for the next few days, right? Apparently I would definitely wait for the market to give me a clear direction. If I were to, really turn positive, turn bullish into token price movement, I would want to see the USDT to close below this resistance, not only 200 MA, possibly this support line as well, because we can see this percentage, about 5.8%, has been holding on for a long time, since November, right? For it to finally break below, and then we can see a lot more room for it to move. And by then, if it really goes down, that means the rest of the token most likely would be able to break above the major resistance, which we also see, like we can see a corresponding relation here. If they can break above the major resistance, then we have more room for it to move before it hit next resistance, right? Then ideally, I want to see that kind of movement before I take a big trading position. All right. So yeah, so that's why for the past few days, right? I mean, of course, also because spending more time to celebrate the holiday, but most of the time, even if I want to do trades, I tend to take a small position and keep my TP percentage to be really tight, really small, right? Because as long as all the tokens has not break above their major resistance, I don't expect the price have a lot room to pump before they hit the resistance and possibly get rejected again. All right. And for like as I said, Ethereum, though they perform relatively well compared to other token, but it's kind of like alone, right? Because if you look at Ethereum ecosystem token, their price movement is not as strong, right? Okay, and one thing to take note is coming week, the week before Christmas, right? We do have two more events happening. One is unemployment rate, another one is CPI, right? One is on Tuesday, one is on Thursday. So because usually we do see Sunday night or Monday morning, there's a chance of market recovering, right? So if later tonight or tomorrow morning you wake up, suddenly see tokens start to show signs of breaking out, right? If we can catch an opportunity to catch a breakout, then all's good. But just to make sure, right, we don't hold the position for too long. If possible, try to close it before Tuesday, right, 9 p.m. to avoid the market volatility due to the announcement of the unemployment rate. Okay, yeah, that's all from me, right? As you can see, in terms of data-wise, generally, like December's performance is not usually the best, right? So at this moment, 2 weeks into December, almost 2 weeks into December, the market still remain a relatively flat performance, right? But hopefully there will be a good pump for us to profit one round before end of the year, because sometimes actually based on history, towards Christmas or towards New Year, because a lot of people, especially retail traders, they tend to take profit and get ready for a holiday, right? So end of December, we usually, because of the profit taking behavior, we tend to see a negative performance of the market, because everybody withdraw their profit, and in terms of the trading, in terms of the price, usually it won't be as good. Yeah, so let's see how it goes for the next few days, right? But if let's say in the next few hours even, right, we do see a breakout, then if we are awake, there's a chance for us to catch a breakout and do some profitable trade. Yeah. Yeah, so just now I think I was eyeing this trade just before this session start. Not sure if okay, too late. Okay, never mind. Right, so just now I was, while preparing for this trade, I was looking at this link, but didn't have the time to post. But like you can see for link, previously there's a breakout from 200 MA and it was retesting. So just now with the hammer, though not fully bullish, I was eyeing for a long trade, but now it's a bit too late, so forget it. Okay. Do you have any trade setup or coins you are looking at? Then maybe we can go through it together and see if we can find anything tonight. Or if you have any trade that you have taken for the past few days, you want to share or analyze together with everyone, do share in the comment box. Okay, go ahead and type it in the chat because tonight is AMA, so you can ask everything. Okay, I see one person asking LTC long. Okay, let's take a look at LTC. Okay, LTC. Okay. Not sure if you are asking on what time frame. Okay, let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame first. Long. Okay, on 4 hours, I can see LTC is literally like every other token. It's in the middle, right? Seems like there's still room to go up, but if you were to enter long now, your risk to reward ratio isn't that ideal. Let's take a look at 1 hour time frame. Okay, so I'm not sure, but I assume you long. Okay, if you distinct this trade setup as a breakout from the 200 MA, then it ideally the latest I would enter along is when the candle close above the resistance, which is this green candle. Too long now looks a bit, the price has moved a bit too far from the resistance, right? Unless you tell me you are waiting for a possible long setup for retest, which means if later the price comes back down and doesn't, instead of breaking below, it actually holds and continue to go up. So let's say if the price goes to anywhere within this range, be it just test the resistance, retest the resistance, or maybe even retest the 21 the retracement zone, 21 and 50 EMAs, or even retest the 200 MA and bounce, then I see a better setup to long. If I were to long now, it seems a bit too far away. Yeah, not sure. Okay, 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour wise, like 4 hour, I don't see any setup, but 1 hour wise, I do see a breakout. But I would personally, I wouldn't want to chase the entry now. I would rather, if possibly there's a retest successfully, then I will long, which then it will give me a better risk to reward ratio also, because if it retests this retracement area or confluence area, and actually instead of breaking down, it actually holds and bounce, then obviously my upside is a lot more. Then my stop loss, I can use whichever support line it got supported at. Let's say be it this resistance or retracement zone or 200 MA, then my stop loss can be a bit can be tighter, right? Around this area. Then for me, this risk to reward ratio makes more sense. It's about 1 to 2, yeah, 1.96 or higher. Depends where, yeah, at least about $87. Right. So then this trade setup makes more sense to me. Nicholas thing. Okay. Why we trade on big funded have to use limit order? Market entry cannot. Not say cannot, but preferably limit order, because the platform, as for relatively small platform, when you use market order, the price can slip a lot further because there's not much order, right? So imagine you use a market order, you want to buy, okay, the current market price you see is at, for a coin X, is at $5, right? And you want to buy, so for example, $1,000 worth of contract, but because on the platform there isn't much order, but you use up market orders, so in order to fill your $1,000 worth of order, right, the price will slip all the way to 5.10, 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.5. So you may later on realize your order got filled at a much worse price, like further away from what you see the market price is, right? So it's recommended to use limit order. Okay. Not say market order cannot, but you need to be ready for how bad the price you might get filled at. Ton 1 hour short. Okay. Okay, so what we have here is ton seems like having a possibility of breaking below this strong support, which is 200 MA, right? Previously, there's a resistance that has been broken above as well, right? So for short, I assume you are looking for a breakdown short, right? Breakout downward short. So if only it close below this, that means 38 minutes later, this candle close below, then this is a breakdown short setup, right? But if it doesn't, then you need to see next candle can break below or not. If next candle happen to bounce, then this short trade won't be valid, right? In fact, if this one later retest and turn green, then most likely the just now what token was the LTC, right? The long setup will work, right? Yeah, so I mean the breakdown, this support line is pretty clear, it's pretty straightforward, right? The only thing is need to be patient, and wait to see this candle how it goes. Even if you see it seems like crossing down now, right, until end of this hour, you wouldn't know, right? It can always go down and leave a week and then close back above, right? So around this price range will be our zone to watch. Okay. And also one thing is if later this close below, there will be a breakdown setup. But if it close too far below, let's say it close very near to this support line, do you see a support line here? And then if you look slightly further back to the left, right, there's another support line here. All right, so two things to take note. If later this candle close below this support, but very close to this support, then even if you were to short, right, be careful and don't be prepared that this support line could hold, right? So that means if you go down a bit too far, please do measure the risk to reward ratio, whether it still makes sense or not. If let's say we do a short setup here, if it close below the resistance, your support line, your stop loss need to be at least above the previous high, right? About around this range, which is about 3 point something, right? But if it close too near to this support, then this much of profit doesn't make much sense, right? But if it close below this support, then chances are it can go further down, but at the same time, it will be very near to this support, right? Which is a more recent one, and there's still a chance for it to stop here, right? So even if it close below, the risk to reward ratio still doesn't look very nice to me here, right? Of course, if we break down, there's always a chance for it to go like lower and lower, right? But in terms of the recent two support, which is potentially your TP points, it doesn't look very nice to me, right? But of course, if you can monitor the trade, and then if it does go down, move your stop loss to secure your capital for this position, and then move your stop loss along the way, progressively take profit, right? If it really go down, then yeah, it still have more room to go further if you look back at the history, like here, as well as here, right? So if we continue to go down, then the risk to depends on how do you plan this trade, right? So these two recent support, which can potentially be a TP points, looks a bit tight to me. But if you, as I said, if you can monitor and then play it progressively, take your profit, then it still can make some sense, right? But if it too close to TP1 or 2, that means this red candle turned into a very, very long red candle, then I would rather skip and wait for retest. That means if later the candle close already here, then I would rather see whether it react here or not. If it retest, go down, then my risk to reward ratio will make much more sense, like that. Okay. MYIO. What? NYR, yeah, it's near a trend line, but wow, this chart looks, it's like very, this chart looks to me like this is like what I call a very ugly chart, because look at the amount of weeks on this chart. It shows that this token, the trading volume is very like inconsistent, right? So you see the price can go up but quickly got like pushed down by sellers, or it can go down and quickly got pushed up by buyers. Generally doesn't look very nice. Other platforms also look like this. Okay, Maxi volumes look slightly better, but okay, personally I don't find this kind of chart the price can be justified, the price movement, because the weeks showing that buyers and sellers are probably not strong. Trend line wise, yes, but yeah, this, and I don't like when the price of the token move like literally the price up and down like so intensively over a period of time, right? It just doesn't look very nice to me to trade for this particular token. Yeah, I'll skip this, Brian. What do I think about ICP? There seems to be movement last 2 days on 1 hour on consolidation. Okay, if you look at ICP on a bigger time frame, you can see the price is not doing very well, right? Previously, the floor price was about here, and now another, like you can see previously the last support is here, then resistance before it break out is here. So now it's actually still sitting back at the old support line. So this is what I call like literally the price is sitting at the floor price. Right, so past 2 days, yeah, it shows the first sign of trend reversal, and then it break out. So Tuesday the price was good, and then after FOMC it kind of tanked. On short time frame, let's see. Yeah, so like even if I want to, I would prefer to see, yeah, there was a pump, but then immediately the price got down again, right? So for this to me is not not a very reliable recovery, right? Because in fact you can see what happened is before the first pump, right, the price was still above the support line, right? In fact, the dump after the pump, right, actually kind of went lower. That means now you have a lower high, right? So to me, this is not a very strong price recovery movement. It's consolidating, correct, and it shows there's a sign of possibly the trend reversal, because the 10 EMA is crossing up. But for me to trust ICP to have a stronger, upward movement, I would want to see the trend actually did reverse and the price to go above this resistance. Right, so basically this consolidation area. If it can go above here, around this portion, then I will have more confident in it. Okay, because right now what I see is right now it's consolidating, so it can go either way. But if it goes above and actually break, then to me that's more bullish, right? If it goes above, goes up and then get rejected here, then I will remain bearish on ICP itself. Right. I mean, MYRO, if I'm not wrong, is a meme token, right? So you can check on whether the project still got anything going on or not. Because if for this kind of non-utility token to be quieted down, right, then if the trading volume is not high or not much people is paying attention, it can be used for pump and dump scheme, which then kind of, like what you say, kind of turn it into a scam token, right? So yeah, so if you are not an insider trader, then obviously when you trade this kind of token, you are at a disadvantage. Yep. Okay, link 4-hour long. Link just now I was saying, yeah, so link just now I analyzed link. I think link was a token I prepared before the session start, wanted to share, but it already kind of went up. 4 hour too long, a bit. Okay, it did break above 200 MA, right? For you to long now is a bit too late because it has already moved quite a bit from the candle. Let's see. Okay. That's like already, okay, still less than 2%, right? But then if you long now, because technically it's still at the same wave, right? So your stop loss, I mean, depends on where you put your stop loss. For me, originally when I planned this trade, my stop loss was below this previous lows, right? So if you were to enter the trade now, then the risk to reward ratio is like 0.6, then this trade doesn't make much sense to me. If just now we could catch the entry just now, then at least it's like almost 1-to-1, right? So if I wouldn't advise to chase the entry to long now because the candle moved quite a bit. If we zoom in, we can see not so balanced double top, a double bottom breakup like here. A bit, yeah, the risk to reward ratio still doesn't make much sense. Yeah, unless we put a very tight stop loss, which defeats the purpose. Yeah. For our yeah, so it depends on your risk appetite and the risk to reward ratio consideration you are comfortable with. For me, I don't like the imbalanced risk to reward ratio. What's my second indicator below the stochastic RSI? This one is a MACD. MACD basically shows the moving average. Basically it shows, simply put, it shows you the price movement more on the bullish. That means you see the candles shows you, is it like recent candles, is it showing more like a buying or more selling, right? Then the moving averages line basically shows you the kind of like indicates you the current trend of the price movement. So if it pointing down, that means you generally see a more bearish movement. Right? If it cross up and then start to move upwards like that, you start to see a bullish price movement. Right? Same as RSI, this is a lagging indicator, so it follow the price. So that means price goes up, then you will see the MACD line crossing up and going upwards. When the price come down, you will see it moving bearish and pointing down as well. And in the step up, we do have a video to explain what is MACD. Alright, so if you want more technical and knowledge about that, then you can watch the video as well. No, it doesn't give you entry or exit. It shows you like currently what price, what's the price movement direction is. Entry and exit try to get based on the price movement itself, right? That means your candlestick and your chart, because like the chart above. Because as I said, MACD follows the price. So just if you see a cross on MACD, it only shows you the price is going up, right? If the MACD crossing up, but if later the price just drop, come back down, then the MACD will quickly cross downwards, following the price movement as well. Right, so this follows this, but don't follow MACD to determine this or predict this. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh. Okay, the link have hit my first plan TP already. And yeah, and you know, for me personally, if the trade already hit first TP, then the price movement consider quite a significant percentage to me already, then I would not enter. Okay, because for people who only trade for 1 to 2% profit, long now, it could be like the exit liquidity for other people already. Let's see if we have any other. Yeah, but as I said, so if for next few days or next few hours, if the price start to move down and then start to show signs of crossing below the support, right? There's a lot of token you can see now is sitting below 200 MA, right? You know that when the direction turns, then there's actually, like, if for USDT to break down, then you know you have a lot of opportunity to trade breakouts. So for me personally, what I would like to do is I will go through some of the strong tokens, right? Then for those who below the resistance, then I will bookmark them. So later on, if USDT start to come down, right, the moment it close below 200 MA, I can go see who just crossed above 200 MA and look for a good risk to reward ratio kind of trading setup to long. Right, so for me, I'll take a closer look at those tokens that is right now sitting right below the 200 MA, ready to break out anytime. You're talking about ETHFI, is it? Or ETH? THF is what? I assume you are talking about THFI. Nicholas. Okay, I'll wait for you to confirm. Then we go through and okay. All right, TRMF. Yeah, so see, this is one of the token, this is in that kind of scenario I was talking about, right? The token is sitting right below the 200 MA, right? So if later on this close below, then obviously high chance this one will close above. Then I will come back to look for a breakout setup. And for this, I guess the risk to reward ratio is good as well, because the previous low is about here. Then my upside room is here. Yeah, so almost 1 to 2. Right, then this kind of trade setup looks good to me. Okay. Yeah, but make sure you wait for the confirmation for it to close above. Yeah. See, that was just now already. Yeah, you can see how closely I monitor these tokens based on my watch list ranking. So say is one of the token I'm watching pretty closely. Right. So say wise, let me remove the old drawings. Yeah, so say obviously a very clear resistance here. You can see, right? Like this one, it tested a few times already. Right. Previously there is okay, can consider a breakout, but a bit weak. So it got rejected by 200 MA. Right. But now you can see the EMA, because the price is trading lower, right? So now the 200 MA is very close to the same resistance already. So for this to break out, then it will have a good, if it, I assume, imagine if it close somewhere around anywhere above this, right? Then my next resistance I spotted on the chart is about here, right? Then this will be a good setup for me. Okay, but for say a bit long-winded, it's gonna be a bit more long-winded. You can see, right, compared to other token, because right now it just retested the trend line. So now it's still very far from the support line. The resistance line. So good and bad. Good thing is when USDT break down, right, you expect price to bounce, right? For those token that is already very close to the resistance, they might break up very fast, and then you might not have time or room to enter, right? But if let's say USDT break down in next like half a day or 1 day, right? But yeah, then by then, say if we retest this trend line first, the support or trend line over here, it gives you more confidence that okay, it's gonna bounce back up. And while it bounce back up, it gives you more time to enter. So sometimes, a lot, like when like there are times when you suddenly wake up or about to go to sleep, you suddenly see the whole market pumping or dumping, right? Then you cannot catch entry on other tokens in time, right? Then you can take a look at those tokens that is still a bit far from the resistance. See, by then you can get a good opportunity or entry setup or not. Right? You can see the difference, right, between say and just now. What is it? For example, BNB, right, is already here. So later, if let's say it pump, right, by the time it close above, right, you might not get a good trade setup. Say you can still wait to let it happen and see by then if it close above, what is your risk to reward ratio. And John, to answer your question, during volatile times, right, you can still, of course, your TP, when we talk about, where to aim for TP, I will still look at the major support resistance. That means like you can see like, for example, using say as example, if I look at the chart, if we break above, we can see there is still some potential resistance based on the previous price movement, right? So when I enter a trade, I can still see like what are the possible like resistance that along the way, if it were to go up, right, which are the possible price points that can reject this upward movement, right? So be it volatile period or very peaceful period, right, as long as when you plan your TP, you do not overlook, or try as much as possible, do not overlook every possible resistance based on the previous price movement, right? And then you take profit along the way, then I will be very safe, right? So if I look at this price movement, I do see there's a possibility for it to go all the way up because I have another strong resistance here, right? So technically, if I were to be very optimistic or very greedy in a way, right, I can kind of let this price run all the way till here. But knowing that when price goes up, there's always a chance that in between it get rejected by next resistance and retest before it goes up. So make sure you think of all the possibilities of it getting rejected at any possible line along the way, right? Then you like take progressive TP or move stop loss, up to you, right? Then in a way, basically just to play it safe lah. Right? We can be greedy when we look at the bigger picture, but when we actually apply it or plan our action, right, do be cautious. Say, you want to short say based on, just now you want to long say. I say need to wait. You want to short. Short from where to where? Not here, right? Can we at least short? Sometimes it's not like you cannot long means can short. Like let's say here what I expect to see is for it to go up Exactly when will it go up, I also don't know, because you see in this, like for say, right, previously before it pumped, it consolidated for what, from Saturday to Tuesday, it consolidated for almost 3 days, for almost 4 days, 3 days plus, right? So exactly when it's gonna pump, I don't know. So you short, first of all, it's obviously sitting above support, and the lows are getting higher, so I don't see a short setup anywhere here, right? And if you were to short, the risk to reward ratio also doesn't make sense Like imagine you short from here to support, even if it does go down, your stop loss has to be above previous high, then potential TP less than 3%, right? So it doesn't make much sense just because the long need to wait means can short. If later it break below, if it break below like that, then maybe I will consider short. It doesn't make any sense for me to short this token under this setup. Say 1 hour, price in 200 MA inside the EMAs. I mean, be it 1 hour or 4 hour, as I said, right now I don't see a trade setup on say. For long, I would want to see break above this strong resistance. If for short, only if we break this support. For now, if I look at say on 1 hour, I also don't see a trade setup. Like even on 1 hour, very near term, the price is getting higher and higher. Why would I want to short like this? I wouldn't. Right? If you say, okay, on 1 hour, if we break above the 200 MA on 1 hour, then I rather, if we break above, then I rather wait for a long trade if we break above the 200 MA slash 50 EMA. That means I will see the price movement to be like this, like this, like this. Then to me it looks more logical. Okay, but right now it's like not here, not there. For say, do I enter if it bounce off trend line? I mean it didn't touch a trend line just now, right? Later if it really go down to retest before it goes up, I don't know. But for me personally, if on 1 hour time frame, if I were to do a long, I will wait for it to break above both 200 MA and 50 EMA. That means I will long if it goes above here. Okay, then if on 4 hour, then I will, yeah. So 4 hour wise, in a way, if 4 hour, then you will see the setup a bit different because on 4 hour the major resistance is still here, right? But if you realize, right, this resistance pretty much coincide with 200 MA. That means on 1 hour, short termly, if I think it's after breakout, there's still room to go up, I'm technically gonna enter breakout and then TP before it hit this resistance, which is where the 200 MA on 4 hours lies. So it's like somewhere around here. The 200 MA is about here on 4 hours. Right, so on smaller time frame, I might trade a breakout and TP before it hit this resistance. Then on 4 hours, if it break above, then that will be my 4 hour time frame trade setup. Right, so that's why I say sometimes it's same strategy, but on 1 hour and 4 hour, you will have different trade setup, and then the way you play your trade will be a bit different. One 0.1311, 0.1311. Is that what you want to enter here? To what short? see if we can spot any more potential setup. This one is okay. I think another potential trade setup I was monitoring is hyperliquid, right? So previously you can see like the current price is also on 4 hours, right? You can see 50 EMA here, right? And also the recent price movement is actually showing a pretty much a double bottom, right? So if this I haven't seen a candle close above yet so I don't know exactly where, but if later it break above this double bottom and then also 50 EMA, potentially I'm seeing a potential long setup here, right? So I'm waiting for a breakout on hyperliquid here. Then on 1 hour, right, same thing as I said, 1 hour and 4 hours, sometimes you can see the lines actually coincide one, right? So you can see near this resistance is where the 200 MA on the 1 hour chart is, right? So if later I see a candle close above both the resistance and 200 MA, right, then it will be I will consider it as a breakout, right? But just one thing is, if for this particular trade, right, if later this candle close very near to this resistance here, which you can see in the past was support then resistance, right? If this one close too near to this line, then I might not trade because then the risk to reward ratio is very imbalanced. But of course, based on the previous movement, I can see like the price is pretty much moving in a channel, right? So potentially I see there's an opportunity or potential for it to go up higher, right? So if later it close too near to this resistance, I need to measure again how far or how close it is to this line, right? If later by the time when close above and then I think I got the time to monitor if it happen in the morning, I know I can move my stop loss along the way, right? Then maybe I will take the trade. Okay, so this is one of the trade setup I'm eyeing for a breakout. What else? Then dot is similar to say, right? It's more near to support rather than the resistance. So this one no need to rush. We can see whether if January market recovers, then this could provide us a potential breakout long setup. But right now I don't see much. Okay, near also. yeah, the rest I don't see much of a setup. So yeah. About how? Tau. Okay, so Solana, BNB, and Tau are the three that I mentioned. They are already very close to a resistance, right? So if in next 24, 48 hours, if I see a breakout of USDT, I'll quickly run to these three, see if I have an opportunity, right? But then if I'm not, like I cannot catch them timely, then the rest, these few are the ones I can, they are still taking their time to reach the resistance, so I can wait for them. Right. So, but in general, I'm only focusing on these three. That's for me personally. Do you have any other token you are watching? ZEC. Okay, this chart looks not bad. Previously, there's a support line and they break above and retested. Now it's a bit okay. If I saw this on Thursday, then this is a breakout and retest setup for me. That means based on this bullish engulfing candle, right? I can do a continuation of long, right? But right now the price has already moved quite far, so I won't do anything. Then next time is then if we were to long again, then either we wait for it to break above the next major resistance, which is the 200 MA around this level, or if it retests right successfully again, but then that will be our potential final TP, right? So it's either break above, or if a retest like that. But if on smaller time frame, on smaller time frame, it has already turned into a uptrend. So near short term, there's also a trend line here. So if later wherever it touch and continue start to come down, right? We can see if we can catch like a retest or retracement, whatever we call it, to long. Right, but right now nothing we can do because it's already very near to the resistance. This token, the price is quite bullish. Okay. Let me add this to my watch list. See what happens after. Okay, good. Thanks for recommending this. I can watch. Okay. All right. So, do we have any coin we want to go through? Okay, so if not, let me just share with you guys in case you have not checked our Telegram or WhatsApp message. Right, coming January, you know, every beginning of the year we'll hold a session to help to share more of like market insights or more like things we can learn or analyze or focus on, right, to help to prepare you better for the upcoming year, like what to do with your portfolio planning or what to do with your, you know, trading plan adjustment, right? So same for this year, 10 to 11 January, right? We're gonna hold, and this time around it's an online session. So for these 2 days, you don't have to travel, right? Then you can, yeah, welcome to attend our Wealth Blast Off of 2026, right? It's completely free to register, right? I see our ops already shared the link in the chat box. So if you're interested, do sign up, right? Because the seats are limited. So grab a seat before it's too late. Don't wait until January, then you register. Okay, so if you're interested, do note down or copy the link from the chat box. Yeah, let's go through a few more. One is Ada. Ada, similar to say, but it's slightly closer, right? So for this one, technically, 4 hour, you can see previously it kind of broke above the resistance already, and it actually right now seems like this support line is holding pretty well, right? It retests here and actually bounce back up, right? It's just that because now you can see it's very near to the resistance, so we don't want to long here, but this one is somewhere in between just now those ones that are very close to resistance and somewhere those ones that are very close to support line. Right, so this one, it can be something you monitor and it will give you a outcome sooner, right? So if later on it break above, then this could be a good setup to long. If you ask me whether to long now, I wouldn't recommend, because if your entry is here, all right, your TP here, the stop loss below here, a bit, okay, I got 1 to 1 now, right? But just, are you looking for long or short? Yeah, but one thing is I do see another resistance around this level, right? So if I were to long, I want to make sure I adjust my stop loss here to protect my position. Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at 1 hour. 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour wise, if I look at 1 hour, then the 200 MA is even closer. Then I might want to, even if I long, right, I might want to make sure I shift my stop loss when it hit around here. Otherwise, there's a chance for the price to get rejected here. Yeah, for me personally, I would prefer to long only if it break above here. Then this trade make a lot more sense to me compared to now. Now, and literally we are seeing EMAs on both 1 hour and 4 hour is showing a more like downtrend. So trading against a trend for such a tight profit margin, not very ideal to me. Okay, the long, right? Yeah. So yeah, my analysis is based on long. So for me, I would rather wait for it to break up properly. For trading against the downtrend to long, for a very tight margin, profit margin, it's not a, it doesn't seem like a good idea to me. BCH. Okay, BCH looks looks fine, right? It's the price movement quite strong. It is actually broke above this sub resistance and now holding above this line. You want to long, okay, the next resistance is here, can tell, right? So if you want to look for a long here on 1 hour, oh, okay. Okay, so previously it broke above 200 MA, retested. So the new support line is here. And then right now it kind of retested. So on 1 hour, okay, I do see a long setup. But for me to put the stop loss below previous low at least, here, right? So that's about a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Looks fine. But one thing is, okay, if I were to long, right, do you see a previous rejection of price here? Right, so if it's me, if I long now at 588, I will make sure I take my first TP and move stop loss. But that's very close. But no choice, because you can see the resistance here. And it just got rejected. So that means this price point is quite a strong resistance. Ethereum. Ethereum overall is doing okay. It's on an uptrend now. Right now, if we talk about longing, okay, technically it has broke above and then retested. So it managed to close above this resistance now, right? So can long, but can you get a good, let's see, yeah, let me find the resistance first. So here, short term wise, here. Okay, let's say just one TP. Then okay, if I were to long based on the previous retest, stop loss below the major support plus the previous low, then it's a bit tight. Yeah. But one thing is, by the way, all this long, I said the setup can consider, right? Please do verify with this. Okay, as I said, all those long setup, right? I will only enter if, like, in case some of you didn't come at the very beginning, right? I just like I did say the USDT .D right now is sitting on a very strong support, right? You can see, right? So all those long setup, be it breakout or short long with the trend, right? I will only consider entering if this close below later at 12, right? As long as the USDT stay green and go up, right? You more highly likely you will see the rest of the token go down, right? then even if the chart makes sense, the price movement might not go as you wished, right? So right now I do see the trade setup, but I need days to close below. Okay, if it turn red, then at least from here to here, before it hit the next support, within this space, within this percent, like this area, this range, right, is my chance of profit from a long. Okay, if later this really turn green, right, then it might continue to go up like this, then chance of it, if you're longing something, then there's a chance of it not going up, but instead hit your stop loss. Depends on how tight is your stop loss, right? So don't take unnecessary risk, right, when you know the market is not on your side. Okay, so our job is to first decide, okay, the trade setup, the risk to reward ratio, the technical analysis, does it make sense, right? Then after that, then we decide whether is market on our side or not, right? So remember, always combine market analysis and technical analysis together. Okay, and later on, if let's say the USDT does start to go down, we quickly long, right? Also make sure you take profit along the way, right? Don't be too overly optimistic, right? Because let's say we long here, but we see a potential, previously there's a support line here, which can potentially become a resistance, right? Then when the price move there, do remember to take some profit or at least move your stop loss. Okay, I think that's about it, right? No more questions? There's a, need to remember there was a lag in the YouTube channel. So I'll wait for 2 more minutes. If no more question, then I'll pass it over to our ops. Okay. All right. I see one last question. So let's finish it off with BTC. Uh, 1 hour chart or 4 hour chart? Breakdown. Last night is 11th of December. 1 hour. Okay. Last night. Okay, I assume you call it night, so it's after 8 o'clock. Where's your entry? What's your support line you consider as a breakdown? Soup fund. What's your entry? Like your entry price? Excuse me. 5953 89533. Okay, I assume you consider this red candle as a breakdown. Okay. All right. And I assume this happened because your previous support is around this level, right? So when it closed below this, around this price range, you consider this as a breakdown. All right. So, okay, first of all, I think this also partly depends on whether you prefer or you habitually draw support and resistance using wick or body, right? But for me, personally, I usually drawing wicks because although it didn't, I think the candle didn't close below, but the wicks shows that whenever the price goes around this range, then it only react, right? So to me, this whole range is considered as a support. So that means I won't simply only take this as a support value, right? So because if you look back at the past, you see many times the price did go below, but it actually like got supported and actually U-turn from that, right? So for me, it will be safer if it close further, like, or at least like completely clear the price range. All right. But if you join with bodies, I can't say you are wrong also, right? So if we take this as your support line and then it close below, technically you can consider this as a breakout, downwards breakout. But one thing is, if for a break, to simply put for breakdown, right? You know what are the rules for breakout when it break above? We expect a high buying volume. So we expect when it break above a resistance, we expect the first of all the buy volume should be high, and then secondly the RSI MACD, because it shows a strong buy volume, which means people are keep on buying without selling, or with more buying, basically buy volumes or buy orders exceed sell orders, right? So when you see a breakout, you expect first high volume, secondly the RSI and MACD usually is at the bottom, is above, right? Because people keep on buying. That's how the price keep on pumping, right? And when this happens, right, the volume, okay, if I judge by this candle, it seems like there's a potential of volume going up, right? But the MACD and the RSI is not really at the bottom. In fact, the RSI shows that it actually going up already, right? You see the path, right? So it actually giving you a sign that actually moving slowly, but actually it's moving up. So if we consider this is as a proper breakout setup for upward break, then this one is like almost there, but not really, not fully, or not 100%, perfect fit for a breakdown. Okay, then and also just to share, I think I mentioned before, for me, if I were to do a break, usually I wait for retest, but if I were to do a breakout trade, right, be it long or short, I would prefer the next candle to continue in the same price direction, right? So if this candle is a bearish engulfing candle and it did close below my support line, I will still want to enter only if the next candle price is lower than the low of this candle. So if you can see this candle, the low price is about 89200. So personally, I added this additional rule is I will only enter if the next candle go below this price, right? But again, this is not everyone have the same rule, right? But like based on my data collecting, right, I realize this helped me avoid a lot of like fake up like this. Okay, but just to share, if you don't have the same rule or you don't check RSI or MACD, right? This I can't say you are wrong for a breakout because you draw your support line based on body of candles. Then it makes sense, right? So then this is a unavoidable thing. But one more thing is, even if you were to short here, just like I mentioned, right, during this volatile period or uncertain market period, right, try not to be greedy. We need to manage our trade along the way, right? So if you can see this green line, if I look to the left, this one, even if I draw support line based on body, this itself is also considered a very, also considered support line. You see the body, the candles touching it. Right, so in a way, if I were to short here, because your entry was 5 89533, right? So for me to even enter the short here, I need to be careful when the price reach here. I should move my stop loss already. Not very far. The percentage is quite pathetic because this is Bitcoin. We need to avoid the risk of it getting rejected here and U-turn. See, right? So for me, if I were to trade a breakout, right, I would prefer for it to only break below this entire range for me to consider as a proper breakout. Okay. Yeah, so I would prefer to enter if it goes here, right? Even so, my stop loss will have to be a bit far because it has to be above the major resistance, right? So if I drew the chart analysis like this, I will end up not taking this trade because my potential TP here based on the previous low, right? Then my risk to reward ratio for this trade is very bad. So I won't take this trade. It's at 0.38. I'm risking $3 to get $1. Not very nice. Okay. All right. So that will be our. Oh, you replied. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, personally, I would like to trade retest, which is a second round confirmation trade compared to an immediate breakout, because sometimes it's very hard to know. Like for example, if you see this red candle, right, it seems that okay, people are selling, right? The sell volume is picking up, but next candle simply like assume if you want to trade a breakout, we want to see this kind of volume. That means the red candle gets higher and higher and higher. That means sell orders gets more and more and more, right? But if I immediately jump in because this red candle seems like a very strong high selling volume, and the next candle just simply U-turned, right? Then I get caught in a fake up, right? So for me personally, I would rather for the breakout to happen, retest, then only I enter. Okay, good. All right, so I think that's the last question. Welcome, Sofan. Right, so I hope you have already, went through whatever token you are monitoring, or you want to go through with me together, right? And thanks all for attending. All right, happy holiday, everyone. And if you have already spent the whole year, study hard, trade hard, work hard, it's all right if holiday season is coming. Do spend some time with your friends and family, right? Give yourself some time to just have fun and relax like me. Okay, don't push yourself too hard, right? It's already holiday, right? Do enjoy, right? So I wish everyone happy holiday, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, right? I don't see you for the rest of the year. Okay, all the best, everyone. All right.
Funder, right, is actually nothing new. It's what we call a prop firm platform that is used to be available in many other assets. And then Bitfunder is the one that focuses in crypto trading. How it benefits our student is because this basically is a platform that provides you the funds to trade with, which you can trade, make profit, and take your share of profits, right? So for people who are not like comfortable or ready to invest big amount, big sum of like real cash of their own pocket, it helps for them to leverage other people's funds so that with a small funds they're paying, they get to receive a challenge account that they can use for trading and generate profits and get their shares in it.
Okay, so the CEO came today. So one of the things that I like about is his journey. Like he used to from Forex, then after that how he started the prop firm. I think his mission is in like to teach people how to trade properly, which is good. And of course Carlos sharing of how he actually plays a trade, whereby he shared that he only trade Bitcoin most of the time, is something new to me lah. Yeah, so yeah, that is something that I will also be looking at. Trade more Bitcoins than the altcoins, which quite sort of like align with what I plan to do as well.
One thing I like about Bitfunder is that I must give credit to Bernard, because besides introducing us to this account, he also teach us how to trade using Bitfunder and what are the rules to observe so as not to burst the account. So that's one thing I think many of the members really appreciate Bernard for that. And I think it's a good cause that MWA did bring in for the student.
Bitfunder is being introduced to me by MWA, of which I was very, very grateful and thankful. Yeah, and with Bitfunder, I think I can go a much further way and make a lot more money and learn careful trading instead of reckless trading, and that's a good thing.
Hey guys, we just wrapped our event with Bitfunder, one of the world's leading
crypto prop firms. And the idea is very, very simple. We fund you, you trade. Minimal downside to you and unlimited upside in terms of profits for you as well. Again, check us out, Modern Wealth Academy and Bit Funded.